What's up, guys? It's Kara Corey here from Kara Corey Fit Life, and I'm very excited to share with you a fall time recipe today. And I'm going to make some apple cinnamon protein mini muffins. So I don't know about you guys, but I always like things that are a little bit tiny because they're cute and fun to eat, and you usually get to eat more of them. So if you have a mini muffin pan, then you can make these as mini muffins like I'm doing today. If not, no worries, you can just make them into normal size muffins, and the recipe just won't yield as much. But the first thing you're going to want to do is spray your pan, set it aside, and I've got my oven preheating at 350 degrees. Now for this recipe today, it does require several ingredients, and I usually try to keep it quite simple, but it's still a fairly simple recipe, and I think you guys will have most of these items laying around at home. So to get started, we're going to start with wet ingredients, and the first thing I'm going to add in are some egg whites, and I just use the liquid egg whites, and I'm going to dump in 1/4 of a cup. And the next thing I'm going to use is just this little snack pack of unsweetened applesauce. This is 4 ounces, and I'm going to use the full 4 ounces. So we're going to go ahead and mix all our wet ingredients together first. And then I ran out of vanilla extract, but I do have this vanilla bean paste on hand, so I'm just going to use like a teaspoon of that. I'm not even going to measure it, I'm just going to kind of drop it in there. But if you guys have vanilla extract, go ahead and pour in a teaspoon of that. And then I am just going to, cheers. Oven's preheated. I'm just going to whip this around really quick before we add in our dry ingredients. Very simple. Okay, next for my protein, I am using the Cinnagram protein. You guys can get this at tigerfitness.com. Use my discount code Kara if you haven't already. 1 full scoop of Cinnagram. Plop that in there. Okay, and for flour, I'm going to use a combination of coconut flour, which I am going to weigh out. I'm going to use the equivalent of 2 tablespoons, which is 14 grams. Okay, and then I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of just the quick oats, and I'm going to use 40 grams of that. Oh, that was good measuring. Okay. Then to make our muffins rise, I'm going to use a combination of baking powder and baking soda, and I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of each of these. Okay. Now to add a little spice and sweetener to these, you guys can kind of use what you like. I'm going to use some ground cinnamon. If you had apple pie spice, that would taste amazing in this, but I don't have any. And I never measure out stuff like cinnamon. I usually don't. I just dump it in there. But cinnamon or apple pie spice, even pumpkin pie spice would be good. For sweetener, I'm going to use Splenda. But if you are stevia lovers, use stevia. If you just want to use sugar, use sugar. And I'm going to start with adding a couple tablespoons of this. And if I need to add a little more, I will after I taste test it. But the last thing I'm going to add to it are some apples. And what I did was I bought 2 of like the little mini organic gala apples, and I just chopped it up nice and fine. So I'm going to add that. It ends up being about the equivalent of 1 mini apple. And ends up being about 80 grams of apple. So we're going to go ahead and mix this up. It smells like apple pie the second you start mixing it up. I did a little taste test, and my sweetness is on point with the 2 tablespoons of Splenda. So now that I've got it all mixed up, I could probably just eat this as batter. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. To end this recipe right here, just eat it. Screw the mini muffins. Nah, I'll make mini muffins, but if you want, I wouldn't blame you guys if you stopped here. I'm just gonna take basically like a tablespoon and plop it into, I'm using this word plop a lot today. Plop it into each of my little mini muffin spots here. And then once I've got this all filled. I'm gonna get it in the oven and bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. Everyone's ovens are a little bit different. So I'll see you when my mini muffins are all done. All right, guys, so the mini muffins cooked in about 12 minutes, and let me tell you, they filled the house with the aroma of fall. It smells like apple pie in here. So if you guys have company coming over and you need to impress them, make some of these mini muffins. You don't need to go to Yankee Candle and get any fancy smelling candles. Make my muffins. Make these mini muffins. I cooked them, like I said, for about 12 minutes. The serving size on these guys ends up being 2 mini muffins for about 1 gram of fat, 9 carbs, and 6 grams of protein. I did have just enough batter left over after making the 12 mini muffins that I got to lick the spoon a couple of times. But serving size is 2. I'm gonna try one out right now because the batter tasted phenomenal. Can you get inside there? Get inside that mini muffin. Look at those layers. Apples and cinnamon. These are on point as a new fall favorite of mine. I hope you guys give these a try. If you do like these, give the video a like. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you try these out, Cara Corey Fit Life, and keep checking back for more recipes.